All right, so this is great. Great chance to practice this on the golf course. Not something you're ever going to see on the range. We've got ourselves in a little bit of trouble. We got to get up and down to try to save a par. But again, you know, a bogey after doing something like this is not the worst case scenario. So this is a tough shot for you. You mentioned that you're a fader of the golf ball, right? Typically, people who fade the ball, it's high fade, low draw, right? So we got to keep this ball down, okay? So I've chosen a 7-iron. I'm going to demonstrate for you the way I would approach this shot. And just because we're in trouble, I would challenge you to get the mindset, get the brain going even more so than a perfect 158 iron, you know, into a middle flag. This is where you can separate yourself as a good player by getting this up and down, or worst case, making a bogey, where somebody else you might be playing with or a lesser golfer might make double, triple, get in a lot of trouble, right? So first thing we got to do is keep the ball down, right? So first thing we're going to do to keep it down, we're going to put it way back in the stance. I'm going to put this pretty much lined up off my right foot, right? We want to really take the shaft and get it forward so we lower the loft, right? We've also got another issue. We've got some sandiness here, right? So it's a sandy area, just like we talked about on the other hole that we just played, right? When it's wet, when it's sandy, when it's hard pan, things like that. We want to put it back in the stance a little bit so we hit ball first, right? So that's another important thing. That's why another reason we put it back. Also, when you put your hands forward, right, it closes the club face slightly, right? So de-lofts it and it closes the club face a touch, right? We got to keep this low, and in a perfect world, not only low, we'd have a little bit of turn from right to left, right, to try to chase it back to that flag. We did luck out. It's a back pin. We've got a little run up to the green, so we're going to have to land it short, right? Again, just like on that other hole, back pin, you don't really want to go over a back pin, right? You're going to leave yourself a tricky up and down. And again, we got ourselves in some trouble. If we make a bogey, it's not going to destroy our score, right? You also talked about wanting to pass the PAT. One of the big things passing the PAT is avoiding big blow-up numbers, right? We can't make a 6 or 7 from here, right? We're hitting our third. 5 is not going to kill us, okay? So let's be smart. So back in the stance, right, which helps us shorten the loft. The hands are going to be in front. I'm choking down because it's not a full shot, right? And I'm going to make, again, 3 or 4 swings and just kind of get a feel for how hard I got to hit it. And think about our landing spot, right? I want to land this about 10 yards shy of the green. Let it trickle up and release, right? If I fly it too far, we're going to chase it over. Even if I put this on the front of the green, I'll make bogey, right? Last piece, to get that little bit of turn, we're going to let the right hand sort of take over a little bit as we impact the ball. See how I'm kind of turning the toe over, right? I'm going to kind of make impact and turn the toe over slightly because I want just that little bit of right to left turn. Obviously, if we needed a huge hook, you do it even more so. This is just, we just need a little bit, right? And also by aiming out to the right, we're avoiding pulling it and hitting into this tree and having it go, and then we can make a whole mess of things, all right? So I'm going to aim plenty out to the right, actually at that second palm tree, because if I hit it dead straight, I'll end up on that front right corner of the green. At least I'm putting. And I'm just going to make a little swing, get a feel for it, and I'm just going to feel that right hand turn over a little bit and try to hit my landing spot. And that came out real low. That's going to be beautiful. Oh, yeah. We like that one, right? I got about 12, 15 feet up the hill. I'm putting for par. It actually came out even lower than I thought, which is fine. It rolled right through there. Doesn't have to be pretty. But I got a 10, 12 footer for par. And if you make one of those, you feel like you stole one from the golf course, right? So go ahead and why don't you grab a golf ball? I know I just hit your ball, but let's try to do that same thing. So back of the stance, hands forward, choke down on the club. Let's make 3 or 4 swings. Right, and just get a feel for the sandy area, the turf, whatever, right? And just feel that toe release through. It's okay to use a little right-hand English, so to speak, on this shot. Okay, not bad. Now, you obviously mishit it a little. You got another ball? Go ahead and put another ball down. That's okay. So what I saw there is just not, you came into it a little tentative. You know, we're choking down. We've got it way back in the stance, right? You're a little tentative going through that sandy area, right? Think about when you're hitting in a bunker and you hit the sand, right? What's the worst thing you can do is not follow through. Have your club hit the sand and just come to a dead stop. This is a sandy area. You got to be a little more, just a little more aggressive. That's okay. That's why we're out here practicing. Yes. Beautiful. Perfect example, right? You turned it a little right to left, not as much as I did, but that's okay. You're on the green with a 25-footer. We should, worst case, make a bogey there, but more aggressive through that sandy area, right? When it's super soft like that and sandy, that's why it's important to make 3 or 4 practice swings just to get a feel for how your club's gonna react going through the turf. Really good, Ryan.